I'm presenting my I'm presenting my main mechanic here, or a couple of my mechanics here. The first one is the crouching and sneaking around. And you can kind of toggle that with the left shift button. Allows you to kind of hide behind these barricades without being seen. Oh, looks like where I was seen there. When they turned around. But to kind of show how that works, if I go to the animation blueprint for my character, and go to the anim graph for the locomotion. Yep, that's what we want. So the way I have it set up is still goes from idle to walk to idle, but then you have sneak idle and regular sneak. And if you're crouched, if you activated crouch with the left shift button, and then you go into sneak, you start moving while crouched, or start moving, then you start moving it in, like, as in sneaking, using this blend space. But then if you're not crouched, you go back to idle, which will go back to walk. But if you're walking and running, you want to sneak, as long as you activated crouch with the left shift button, then you go into sneak. And save that. The second mechanic is the enemy being able to kind of see you or sense you using their perception, and they get alerted. So you get the little kind of pop up on the screen saying you're seen, as well as the sound of them kind of like surprised, or and then as on top of that you get the exclamation mark, and when they've lost you, they'll go to where they last think they've seen you, and they'll start looking around and see if they can see you, which is kind of a form of them being distracted for a little bit because they're not on their path anymore. They've stopped, which gives you a chance to loot them if you want. So going into the enemy AI, way I have it set up, you have a AI controller, and the enemy AI themselves, and they're using a behavior tree, as well as a perception, AI perception. So this is for the sight check. So it basically use, as long as you're using sight, the actor that they've sensed is the player. It does 2 line traces, one from the head of the enemy straight across, like forward, in the forward facing direction, like 500 units, and then a second one from basically their knees forward, about 500 units. In case you're crouching around in front of them, they could still see you potentially, and that line trace will check for that. If it's that first idle guard in the very beginning of the level, this is basically just to kind of toggle off their, or basically not do any of the behavior tree stuff because it's just idle. So if it's not idle, it will do all the behavior tree, which will set the the target actor in the behavior tree to true or false, to either the actor it's sensed or to null based on if it's successfully sensed something or if the line traces have successfully sensed something. And if it has, then it will kind of play that sound of them surprised, and show the little kind of like pop-up scene as well. But if it hasn't seen you, it will save your last known location and use that to kind of walk through in the behavior tree. So going over here, delete those. So starting with the root, you have a selector, which first goes to this selector with a blackboard-based condition. If the target actor is not set, it will first do set the visibility of the exclamation mark widget to true or false based on that new visibility. And then it will do its patrol task, which is essentially just using the patrol points that's set up around the level as a map with of the patrol point actors mapped to a float duration for how long they should wait there. And then turn off the widget if it hasn't already. And then it will move to that target actor, and if it's lost it, it will go to last known location, look around, and jump back to here. And those are my